What's up guys, back for another Honkai Star Rail video, and we have a update to Pure Fiction. Unfortunately, this update is coming in 2.7. That will be the update with Funny Tingyun and Sunday. So this is not for Rappa, this is for the update after. However, this update is pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie, this makes the game mode actually easier for people to get better scores, resulting in easier ways to get stellar jades, more currency, and all that good stuff. Now, I mean, personally, I feel like Pure Fiction is the easiest game mode, at least for me, right? Obviously, if you don't have certain characters, it could be a little hard, right? But I've always felt like Pure Fiction had the best choice of free characters or more easily obtainable characters, such as like most people have the supports, most people will have standard banner characters like Himiko and all that good stuff. But anyway, let's jump into what they added. So it says, Trevor's in this issue will bring you to preview about all the gameplay updates coming to version 2.7's Pure Fiction game mode. So the first thing is new grit game mode. After the Pure Fiction update, every period stage effects will turn into different grit mechanics. Activate grit mechanics in battle to accumulate grit value. After occurring sufficient, good lord, grit in combat, characters will enter a surging grit state for a period of time. While in the surging grit state, characters will obtain powerful buffs. And then I guess this is what it looks like. You can accumulate grit quickly via various grit mechanics and synergize your buff to deliver crushing damage while in the surging grit state, more efficiently defeating enemies. Okay. This sounds like it will be the Luca event, the Zen show, where you like accumulate hype. This is somewhat similar from what it sounds like. So I'm assuming you just get a buff, and when you use follow-up attacks, use dot, then you'll get the buff and you'll do more damage. I believe this would be a buff, potentially. You'll probably have a mini buff and then a really big buff, which should mean more damage coming out of this than the old way, but we'll have to see, obviously. So I'm gonna count this as a buff, right? Then new enemy mechanic adjustments. Additionally, the Express crew has also adjusted certain enemy mechanics in Pure Fiction. While engaging combat after the update, the non-boss enemies will also continuously refresh. Okay. Funny enough, I mentioned the Leofu event with the whole Luca thing, because that's where they're at in this. It's funny. Aside from dealing direct attacks, you can decrease the HP of boss enemies by a certain percentage through defeating non-boss enemies. Defeating non-boss enemies efficiently will quickly reduce the boss's HP. After defeating the enemy boss, the next wave will begin. I see. So it makes it sound like we're gonna have a wave 3 every wave, in a sense, because there's 3 waves, right? And on wave 3, the boss enemy spawns. Once you defeat all the adds, you can then defeat the boss. Even if you deplete the boss's HP to 1, they'll stay at 1% until you defeat all the adds. What it makes it sound like is there'll be one boss enemy, and then all the adds will constantly refresh. Interesting. This means hunt characters could potentially be pretty beneficial, if this is what I'm getting at. If you still have to defeat a certain amount of adds, then maybe not. But if you only have to defeat the boss to get the max score, it still technically is AoE based, but it helps hunt characters, which could be massive, actually. But obviously, if that's not how it is, my bad. That's just what I'm interpreting from this. Then, aside from dealing direct attacks, you can decrease the HP of bosses. Yada yada, next wave. Generally speaking, this means when you play Pure Fiction after the new update, you won't just run into situations where you find a single boss enemy standing around alone on the battlefield, or moments where leftover non-boss enemies cause bosses to be undefeatable. I mean, I feel like, at least most of the time for me, if the boss is the only character standing, they have like 2 HP left anyway. But the boss having 1 HP and being unkillable is kind of annoying, I will say. But nothing too crazy. I'm more interested about how it makes it sound like it's going to be a boss every wave. But yeah, no, hunt characters could pop the hell off with that if that is how it's to be interpreted. And then enemies constantly respawning is very interesting, because technically, if you don't do a lot of damage to the boss but you kill the adds, I guess they counteract that with how the boss loses HP if you kill adds. So like Herda will still be good, Himiko will still be really good, AoEs will still be king in this game mode, because if you AoE kill all the adds, you probably do a ton of damage to the boss. So yeah, we could see some really fast Pure Fiction clears with this. Then the last one is the point accumulation and distribution adjustments. After the Pure Fiction update, Trailblazers will obtain points based on the amount they reduce from the boss's enemy's HP. Okay, so it is a boss every wave. Am I tripping? I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Additionally, on the basis of the content of update above, the scores can be obtained from being the first, second, and third enemy waves will be 8,000, 1,000, or 16,000, 16,000. Respectively, in Pure Fiction, the maximum score and points needed to obtain the various star ratings will not be changed. And then that is it. It says Pure Fiction is one of the 3 permanent game modes, along with MOC and Apocalypse Shadow, obviously. As such, the Express Crew greatly values Trailblazers' feedback. We hope that the update Pure Fiction will offer Trailblazers new experiences, and also welcome Trailblazers share their thoughts and responses with the crew. Thank you, and that is it. So, if you're wondering about this one, right, I did a test run. As you can see, I'm a little bit late to this because I was testing out something real quick. If you go to Pure Fiction, you can get a max score of 40,000. You need to get 30,000 points on each side to clear it. You get 10,000 from Wave 1, 10,000 from Wave 2, and 20,000 from clearing the final wave. Meaning you'd have to get roughly halfway through the third wave to get all the points. For the new mode, or the update, you get 8,000 for the first one, and then 1,000 and 16,000 for the second one, right? That means you get 24k points, which is 4,000 points more from clearing Wave 2, meaning you get less points, right? So technically Wave 1 is nerfed, but Wave 2 is buffed by a pretty good amount because you get a total of 4,000 more points. That means you only need to earn 6,000 points in Wave 3 to get a passing score of half, right? Then obviously your second team has to do the exact same thing. But that is a big W. I get, because now instead of doing half of Wave 3, you only need to do 6,000, which quick math is what? Roughly a third. I'm just going to make the math easy. Someone will probably do the math, or maybe not, right? So that's pretty good. So this is a easier way to get max score for Pure Fiction, and they're making it easier, question mark, with the new boss mechanic. I'll have to see, because all this seems pretty good, because you get super OP with this, right? Then the boss is always on the field, but the boss can be taken out with AoEs. And if it's just a boss and you kill the boss and you get the max score, then that means hunt units, like obviously Fei Zhao is actually pretty good in Pure Fiction, but if you just kill the boss and you just use hunt units, or maybe like Boot Hill, right? Boot Hill is a great single target DPS, but he kind of sucks against multiple enemies, something like in Pure Fiction. So if you could just use Boot Hill, kill the boss, and then get a good Pure Fiction score, that would be pretty good for people who don't have AoE characters. However, it does kind of take away from the identity of Pure Fiction being an AoE based game mode. It still is, but I don't know, it'd be kind of weird. I'm up for it. If it's easier for more players to be able to get the max amount of rewards, I'm okay with it, right? As long as it's still somewhat challenging, so it's not just, hit auto, fall asleep, wake up, get your jades, right? I'd be okay with it, but I'm always down for new ways for more players to get more currency and be able to beat it. But otherwise, this looks like a pretty W update. Let me know what your thoughts are good lord, let me rephrase that entire sentence. Let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments. Do you think it's a W, an L? Are you excited to potentially be able to use single target DPSs like Fei Zhao, Boot Hill in Pure Fiction? Or are you kind of sad that it's less AoE based? Well, maybe not catering towards AoEs as much. Let me know in the comments, and of course I will catch y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.